Senator Tom Cotton. Welcome, Senator. The list of provocative acts gets longer. Spy balloons, war games near Taiwan, meetings with indicted war criminals like Vladimir Putin. Where are we with China?
Well, Trey, you're right that the Chinese communists have become more provocative over the last 2 years. That's in part because President Biden has continued to appease and conciliate them. One thing you left off was from the very beginning of this administration, if you recall, Tony Blinken and Jake Sullivan, the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, met with their counterparts in Alaska, and they were humiliated in a face-to-face meeting where those Chinese communists used BLM and woke talking points back at our officials. Just this week, Janet Yellen had said that we don't seek to decouple our economy from China and critical sectors of our economy, but rather a healthy relationship. Time and time again, Joe Biden and the senior leaders of this administration have always turned the other cheek towards the Chinese communists. They've appeased them. They've conciliated with them. It's no surprise that China has only become more and more aggressive over the last 2 years.
You know, Senator, just like when we served together in the House, you stole my next question. I was going to ask you, what does decouple mean? Janet Yellen says she does not want to decouple our economy from China's. I don't even know what that means.
Well, for 30 years, we allowed China to become too interdependent with America's economy. We outsourced millions of jobs and thousands of factories. We should take those jobs and those factories back. We should take our independence back. Now, it's not dangerous if China produces, say, wrapping paper for Christmas or kids' toys or cheap toys for the swimming pool this summer. It is very dangerous if China produces, say, basic pharmaceutical ingredients or medical devices or semiconductors that we use in every way, every day, in every walk of life. That's what we need to do, that kind of strategic decoupling to eliminate Chinese communist leverage over Americans so they can no longer threaten our very way of life, our health, our safety, and our prosperity. That has to happen. And unfortunately, under President Biden, it is not happening.
You know, Senator, you raise a fascinating point, because something else she said was national security is a priority, even if we have to pay the price economically. But it doesn't sound like she's prioritizing national security if we are outsourcing lots of really important things. How did you take that comment by Janet Yellen?
Well, the whole point of a strategic decoupling, Trey, is to try not to cut off our nose to spite our face. Look, it took 30 years to get this degree of dependence on China's economy. We're not going to undo it overnight. And again, it's not dangerous to Americans if, say, cheap plastic toys for the swimming pool are made in China, unless those Chinese manufacturers and their American customers then begin to try to lobby for changes in public policy. But it is dangerous if we allow critical sectors of our economy for which Americans depend on their health and safety to be dependent on China. So I think we can target the sectors of our economy and our trade with China that are most susceptible to China having leverage over America without harming the prosperity of normal, hardworking Americans.
Tom, we've only got 30 seconds, but I cannot let you go without asking you about the report that Afghanistan has become a haven for terrorism again. I know that 30 seconds is not enough to address that. I know you're not surprised by that, nor am I, but I'll let you comment on it.
Well, sadly, it's not just predictable. It was predicted by myself and many others when Joe Biden withdrew from Afghanistan in such a disastrous fashion. You don't need secret leaked documents to know this. In fact, our commander in the Middle East just recently testified to the Senate that ISIS or other terrorist groups might hit America's allies, our interests, and some of our citizens living overseas in less than 6 months. This is all the predicted results of Joe Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, which itself also encouraged China and Russia and other adversaries to become more aggressive with us since then.
Senator Tom Cotton from the great state of Arkansas, thank you for joining us on a Sunday night, Senator.
Thank you, Trey.